Fabian, after a busy period, it must have been quite nice to have a full week's preparation for this one.
Yeah, it's always nice to have more training sessions, to work with the team, try to reflect the last games, try to improve, try to integrate some principles. So hopefully we use it the right way this week.
In regards to those principles, is that around the game management that you were speaking about after the game against Leicester a little bit?
Yeah, I think one big part is the game management, how to manage the games, not only particularly it's against Leicester, but also against Fulham, also against Southampton. So it happens now several times. So it's of course a part of it. It's also part of it what culture you integrate in the club, and we talked a lot about the winning culture, how we can live this, how we can fulfill this winning culture. But on top of that, it's not only about game management, it's also how you improve the game to play consistently 90 minutes, a good game, how you work on details, because the goals happen of a reason and we have to analyze the reasons, we have to find the right solutions, we have to find the right conclusions out of it, and there we need not only training on the pitch, we need also discussions, opinions from the players, different things that integrate in the solutions, and it's a lot of work, but work pays off.
And is it something you've been analysing yourself as well, what role you can play in trying to ensure that these games going into the latter stages of games that you're taking the maximum points you possibly can?
Always the first thing. Reflect myself, reflect my decision, my behavior. So I think you can't be critical with other people if you're not the most self-critical person in the building, and that's what I always try to do. So it always starts with me, and that's why I always reflect myself. That's the first I do.
And you got an opportunity to change the narrative, to certainly change what the results have been last 3 games in a big way, with a game against Brighton's rivals, so to speak, this unique rivalry between the two clubs. How much do you know about it? How much of people around the club kind of helped you understand that rivalry?
Luckily, I visited, I think last season, the game between Crystal Palace and Brighton in Palace. So I saw the game live, and I experienced on my own how the rivalry is, how the mood is between the two clubs, and I experienced also some big derbies in my former time. So I think I know what it means for the fans. I know what it means for the club. It's a game. In the end, it's only about 3 points, but on top of that, it's about the meaning of the game. And I think I know also from the past that the meaning, especially for the fans, is high, and also for the club is very high. And that's why we need to give everything on the pitch to win this derby.
Is the messaging different in the build-up to these games from your experience?
No. So I think everyone in the building knows the meaning, so I don't have to artificially emphasize it, and that's not my way of working. My way of working is to prepare the team the best we can do, like every other game. And of course, I think the players, we have a lot of experienced players in the squad. They know how important this game is for the club, how important it is for the fans, and that's the main thing. We have to give back the fans the 3 points we might waste in the last games, and I think that's the most important.
And you mentioned your past, was it a Hamburg Derby, quite fierce. For fans who maybe don't know too much about it, what was it like to be a part of, and is it something you enjoy and thrive in?
If you win, it's always a big enjoy. So it's something special because you feel the atmosphere before the game, you feel the atmosphere during the game, you feel that there's a big rivalry. And in the end, I like it because every time when there are emotions, it's a big thing for me, and I think emotions are part of the game. But what I always say is that everything should happen with respect to each other. and we don't need any violence or something like this. So that's always the main for me. It's in the end a football game with more emotion than a normal football game, and you can cheer for your team, you can support your team, but in the end it should go everything without any violence.
Now, this week the club announced the new signing coming in January, Diego Gomez. What do you expect him to bring to the side, and is he someone that you expect to put into your first team squad immediately?
Yeah, we will. What he has is something special. So he has the right attitude towards football. He loves to play it. You can feel his passion. You can feel his passion in every talk with him. You can see his passion in his eyes. Also, when you see him playing for Paraguay, when you see him playing for Inter Miami, you see that he's ready to sprint, ready to make the last step, ready to give everything for his club. And that's something what we need here. Having players inside with passion for football, with having the right attitude, with working on themselves to improve, use every day to get better. And that's something what he has inside of him, and that's something special for such a young player.
And finally for me, team news ahead of the game on Sunday. Is there any updates, any players potentially returning?
I have to think.
I mean, last week I think Joel Veltman was close but didn't make it.
That was exactly a question I waited for. So Joel is 50-50. We have to wait the next 2 days.
And Jack, is he close now?
40-60.
30?
20-80.
James Milner?
10-90. It's good. It's true what I'm saying. So exactly in this, like you go through the players, exactly also the percentage maybe of them playing.
I appreciate it, Fabian.
Solly March?
Closer. He can be a possible option, but also there, we need to. It's also I said it the last time. We need to be really patient with him. Now we had the full trainings week, or the first full trainings week with the team, and he's doing well. He's progressing really good. He's pushing to be an option for the squad, and now it's about talking with the medicals, talking with the physios, what is the right thing, and when is the moment to really integrate him also in a match day, because in the end he needs to be prepared for the Premier League. And after being injured for such a long time, we really have to be careful and we have to take care of his health, although I know that he's really pushing to be part of the team.
Just a bit more on the game management you've been mentioning. Obviously, you leave Carlos Baliba on at Bournemouth, he gets sent off. You take him off at half-time at Leicester because he's on a yellow. Do the players, are they fully on board with that game management and understand that it's maybe not performance related they're coming off, it's just the way you're managing them?
Yeah. They are fully integrated and fully understand it. And we always give them a reflection and an honest answer about the performance and when they have any question. And I think that's the main thing we can do, so they know exactly our thoughts and why.
You spent a lot of time watching Oliver Glasner when you were in Germany. How influential has he been to how you are as a manager now?
Especially when I was at St. Pauli, we played a similar system. So we both played with a 5 in the back, and I think he had great success with his former club in Frankfurt. Winning a trophy with this club is a big thing, especially in Germany. And his style of play was outstanding. He's always very compact. He's always very good in transition. He has a good style of play in possession, and that's what he also showed in Palace, especially when he arrived. I think he immediately had an impact in the club, in the Premier League, and that shows his quality.
You mentioned you were at Selhurst Park last season watching Crystal Palace in the Crystal Palace end, and now you're the manager of Brighton. Has he got in touch with you at all since you've taken this job?
Yeah, so we were in touch. We had some calls because we also know each other a little bit. So he's very, very helpful, very open-minded. He's a great coach for me. He achieved a lot of things. So he already made a big career and he continue doing this career. So it's a role model, and I like how he acts, how humble and grounded he is, and I think he has a lot of great attitudes to be a great manager.
In terms of Crystal Palace, just above the relegation zone at the moment, but unbeaten in their last 4, what can you take from that as you prepare for them? Does it really mean much, their league position, to you?
No, because if you see the games, it's always very, very close. In the end, there are small margins that make the difference, and it's a compact team with individual quality, very good in defending, very good in transition. So there we have to be aware of not giving the ball too easy away. And I think the place where they are at the moment, it doesn't represent their real quality and their real ability, what they're able to do. That's why we have to be aware of that. And like I said, every game is competitive. Every game is a challenge for us, and we try to prepare for that as best as we can.
Just finally from me, Jan-Paul van Hecke will make his 50th Premier League appearance if he's involved for you this weekend. How important has he become in terms of what you want to achieve here?
I think he's one of the players that are most underestimated in the league, maybe not at the moment. And he's not only a player who wants to really develop himself every day, he's also a player who has this winning mentality inside of him. He wants to really win every training session. He wants to improve himself, but also his teammates. So he's very demanding with his teammates, and that's something what shows his personality, that he's ready to grow, he's ready to make the next step, he's ready to be a leader also, and I think that might be the next step for him to get a higher value in the team, and I think there's on the right way. And on top of that, I think he's a leader by his performances, so he's always there, he's always ready to perform and show the very great performances for us.
Fabian, Diego Gomez comes from the MLS. He's coming during the middle of the season. How challenging is it going to be for him moving into the Premier League and adjusting?
I think we have some examples already in summer, how challenging it is to come from a different league to the Premier League, to adapt. It takes time. Sometimes it goes a little bit faster. Sometimes it goes a little bit slower with the players. But one is truly sure that it will be a big challenge for him. But it's up to us and also up to the club and to the team to fully integrate them as quick as possible. And that what I experienced so far is that we will get a player and also a person who's very open-minded, who's lovely, who wants to play football, and that's something what will help him. And this club always has the right environment to integrate the players as quick as possible, and that's what we try to do, to give him this environment, to help him the best we can, to give him the support, not only from the staff, also from the teammates, and I'm sure that this will go quick.
Another player who came in the summer who had a great start but then got injured is Yankuba Minteh. You sort of eased him back in very, very slowly, but is he getting there, obviously, on the score sheets to where he was at the beginning of the season?
Yeah, I'm sure he will get there. It's not easy for a young player to have this injury in this time period, and then we had some international breaks where also the rhythm of him gets a little bit interrupted, but he's on the training pitch every day. He's fully motivated. He had a great impact when he got in against Leicester, so I think he's on the right way, and I'm sure that he will get back to his best shape.
I know the game isn't between the two sets of fans against Crystal Palace, but from what you've experienced, what's your message to the Albion fans, and what role can they play, particularly with it being at the Amex?
The role they always play for us in home games, so they're always our 12th man. I love the support from them. I love their feeling for the team, so they know when the team suffers a little bit, then they are there with their support. They cheer to us, and that's something what is incredible. And not only at home, also when we are away, their support is for us crucial, and the support for us is is very helpful also on the pitch, and I think that's very important that they know it. And the second thing is now it's up to us to give them the win, to give them something back for the support, for the travel, for the time they invest every day or every weekend for us, and that's something we have to appreciate. And now it's up to us to give them the victory in the derby.
Talk about the fans, talked about the managers. What about Crystal Palace players? What do you make of them as a team and their threats?
Very compact, very athletic, especially in the last line. I think they have all fast players in the back fast line, and then they have 2 6s who have good balance between being aggressive out of possession, being good in possession, and of course the offensive players, especially if Isse, very fast, very good in transition. Tall striker, target player, so they can play long balls. They can be also very good in possession to play out back on the ground. So they have different variations, but in general, it's a team very compact, very good in transition, and of course also individual quality.